Now, what is your definition of bravery? Bravery applies on the battlefield, obviously. It applies in our hospitals when you're going in against an unknown virus and yet you show up for work every day. And bravery also applies in the face of a terminal illness. Now, I want you to hear the story of a young soldier who was absolutely stoic and did not reveal even to his nearest and dearest what he was facing. And now in his memory, his family wish to raise a lot of money to try and help others. I want you to meet Katie Farrell. She is the sister of Dean. Katie's living in Portlaoise. Morning, Katie.
Hi, how are you?
Very well, thank you. Tell us about your brother.
So my brother was a soldier in the army. He was described by all his friends and all his colleagues as a true gentleman. He was even described by his doctor as the most beautiful soul he'd ever met. He was kind, generous, selfless, always protecting us, and the best big brother.
He was a soldier for about 14 years. What was life like for him?
So he joined the army when he was 18 and he went to Chad and he also went to Lebanon. And he worked in the bomb squad in Athlone for the last 5 years. So, he made a lot of friends. He really loved it. And he obviously planned to stay there until he retired. So he was a soldier through and through.
And Katie, what did he like to do when he wasn't working?
Dean loved reading. He loved watching Star Wars. He loved his niece and nephew. He just loved life. He was the life of the party, always just the most amazing, kind-hearted, full of life person you'll ever meet. And he really loved life.
Now, he is described in such moving terms on the I Donate page, a post that was written by his partner, and it describes, unfortunately, a battle with cancer, and he went into soldier mode when he received the news. Now, what's meant by that? How did Dean respond?
So he went to the doctor by himself and his blood didn't look good. So they sent him straight to Ballinasloe Hospital and he actually went by himself. He didn't want to worry any of us, but they found a really large tumour and it didn't look good from the start. So he was then a few weeks later diagnosed with terminal cancer, but he was just so protective and selfless that he just didn't want to worry us. I don't think he ever told us how sick he really was. He never complained once. We didn't know it spread to his liver. He found out before Christmas, but he wanted to have his last Christmas with us without worrying us. So we didn't actually know it spread to his liver until he had days left to live. He really just did go into soldier mode. He really thought about everyone else but himself. So
that's a very, very difficult verdict to carry on your own, regardless of age. But Dean was just 31. Did he show any outward signs that something was wrong?
You see, the problem with esophageal cancer, and this is what we really want to let people know, is it's actually asymptomatic until it's in a late stage. And once you do find it, it's incurable. But the symptoms to look out for is difficulty and pain swallowing, unexplained weight loss, and burning in the chest. And Dean had all of these symptoms. And only then that's when he got checked. He always says he wished he went earlier. But he never complained once, never, even when he was bent over in pain at Christmas Eve. If he caught you looking at him, he'd just say, no, I'm fine. Don't worry about me. So
it's a sinister disease because it can be written off so easily as, I've indigestion or I've some other benign explanation.
Exactly, and that's what usually causes it sometimes. If you've just years of stomach problems, it can just build up and unfortunately lead to esophageal cancer. And it's very common in men, but it's usually an old man's cancer. So it really is just bad luck, really.
So what were Dean's final days and final weeks like?
So he spent Christmas with us and he really had the best day. We had the best Christmas. He always had a smile on his face, always laughing. But you could see he was starting to get very tired and very weak. He had lost a lot of weight. Obviously, we knew it was terminal by some way, but we didn't think he'd go that quickly. So when he ended up in the hospital, we were shocked to find out that he hours to days lived, but he hung on for 5 days. He really, really fought to the end. He always said he'd fight to the end. But the people in Ballinasloe Hospital, they done so much for us. They let us stay with him, considering COVID going on. So they went above and beyond for us, and that's all we want to do is give back.
Because it was a challenge. The 11th of January, unfortunately, 5 months after his diagnosis, Dean passed away. And if people remember, that's when COVID was at its most active. It was at the peak, and it must have been a very restricted environment in the hospital. So they moved heaven and earth to try and facilitate you. So how do you want to give back?
So Dean always said if he won his battle with cancer that he would become a counsellor for cancer patients, and he wanted to fundraise. So we really wanted to fulfil his wishes and help other patients on their journey, and other families like us. So we, Anita and his partner's job were very kind. They set up the page for us, and we never ever thought in a million years we'd raise 9,000. And considering people are really struggling at the minute, people are so kind. So all we want to do is just raise money for this cancer support unit that helps cancer patients and their family, and raise as much as we can.
So that money will be used to help these patients how?
So it'll go to the cancer support unit in Ballinasloe because they run off donations and volunteering. So they provide psychological and emotional support, transportation to and from chemo, bereavement support. They have a free cancer nurse line and holistic therapy. So the money will go to this cancer unit to provide more support for cancer patients and their families during their difficult journey.
I don't know where you get the strength to do this so soon after such a horrible loss. We're less than 2 months off. How are you all doing?
Yeah, we're all heartbroken, but you know what? If we can make light of the bad situation and give back to, because there is a lot of people going through their cancer journey, and unfortunately Dean lost his, but if we can help other people, maybe their journey a little bit easier, and that's what Dean wanted. That's all we want to do is fulfill his wishes. But he's done amazing, and his story has really resonated with people. I think everyone's been touched by cancer in some sort of way. So if we can help in any way, it just makes this journey a bit easier,
idonate.ie. What are we searching for, Katie?
So if you go onto iDonate and you look up Dino Farrell, or if you go onto my Facebook or Instagram, I have shared it along as with my family as well. We've all shared it. So you should be able to find it on their website if you look up his name or any of our names on social media.
Katie, it's been lovely talking to you. Again, my sympathies on your loss. I hope you raise a lot of money for a great, great cause.
Thank you so much, and thanks for this opportunity. We really appreciate it.
Our pleasure. Take care.